Boom, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're new to the channel, what's up? Big up to all the early regulars in the building. The ER crew is thick. Okay, Spook Rum 4Q, once again, you are first in the building, so let's knock this out. PSA, if you're not a sucker, then please purchase the book. My brother's name is Kenny, The True Origin Story of BDP. The link is in the description below, and the audiobook is also available in the link in the description below. If you don't have it, get it so we can have better conversations on this channel. Two, if you get a chance, please hit the thumbs up so we can bring more like-minded people to the channel. It helps the algorithm. And last but not least, big up to the Rewind crew who's going to check this out a little later on. The Rewind crew has grown too. Um, so things are going well here on the Kenny Parker Show. Kenneth Smith, what up? Uh, let's see how many ER crews we got in here. Explicit Hip Hop, what up? Hold on, let me make this a little bit bigger so I can see. Spook Ram, Supreme Divine, what up? Imperial Jada MC, haven't seen you in a minute. What up? Imperial J says, yo, Spook Ram, how do you get the #1 spot every week? I said he has a formula. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. Supreme Divine, I'll be in New York soon. That's dope. Gregory says, Will Chamberlain was playing in today's NBA, he would shoot 3 points and have a handle. The game has played changed a lot. Nah, I think Wilt Chamberlain would be comparable to Shaq. I think the adjustment would be made for Wilt. If you look at their centers in this league, if you look at like the Lakers per se, their centers don't shoot threes. There's some big bruisers. I'm sure he would occasionally pop one, but even like if Shaq was in the league right now, he would be all kind of problems, man. Um, in the post, he would be all kind of problems. I think Wilt would not shoot as many threes. I think he would be still Wilt Chamberlain in the post for the most part, my opinion. B-Boy Jones, and what up? Um, let's see. LL versus Cannabis is one of the best battles ever on wax. Possibly. I mean, it started with, if you start the battle with 4-3-2-1, where LL went at Cannabis on their own song, on LL's song, because you consider that the start of the battle, and then second round knockout, and then the Ripper song that LL made, which I thought was all right. LL had another one after that called Rasta Imposter, which I thought was dope. Uh, that was one of the best on wax. I still say Nas and Jay-Z was probably back and forth was probably the best because they were throwing darts at each other from early. And then, you know, when Jay-Z had to take over and just let it rip. And then Nas came with I forgot the song that he came with on his album that had the beat to Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. He used that beat and he responded to the takeover. No, that's a lie. Jay-Z said the rhymes to the takeover at the Summer Jam when he was dissing Mobb Deep, and then he said, ask your boy Nas, he don't want it with Hove. No, and then Nas made that record using the Rakim beat, if I recall, Paid in Full. I don't remember the name of the record, but he responded to Jay-Z's rhyme at the Summer Jam. And that's when Jay-Z let off the Full Takeover as a song on the album, which I think that was a great record, great song. And it was just about over for Nas. I really, they was throwing dirt on his coffin. And then Ether, as we all know, and then Super Ugly, the response to Ether after that. I'm gonna say that was a monumental record for record, like back and forth with the subliminals that they were shooting at each other earlier. I would say that on Wax is the illest because all the other battles on Wax that we've heard were pretty much one-sided or didn't last that long or didn't have real memorable records. You know, LL and Kumo D, How You Like Me Now, and then LL had To the Break of Dawn, which was ridiculous. And then LL and then Kumo D came back with the record. Was it Death Blow? I forgot the name of the song. We use all the LL rhyming using the LLs. That was cool, but it wasn't like to me Jay-Z and Nas. And NWA Ice Cube didn't last that long. Big and Pac wasn't a lot. It was really one record. Um, yeah, LL Camp is cool. I'm going Jay-Z Nas on that one off the top of my head. People Jones, KP, what's up with your Knicks getting swept in their recent LA swing? I'm not really a Knicks. I was a diehard Knicks fan most of my life, and then I got off of the Knicks, and then I've come back in recent years. Um, they had a bad LA trip. I don't know if they were doing something. Actually, I don't know if it was the West Coast swing. They had a bad trip, but they'll be. That's a really good Knick team. They're gonna be fine. I'm not worried, but they definitely um, did not show up. A combination of they did not show up. I didn't watch the Knicks against the Clippers, but I saw the Knicks and the Lakers. It was a combination of the Knicks was sluggish and the Lakers played really hard. Um, let's see. I'm behind now, of course, but hey. Hey, Tracy, what's up? ER crew. Uh, let's see. JWoo72, what up? Um, Jermaine Braun, what's up? Um, yeah, RIP Biggie Smalls. Yesterday was official hip hop Biggie Day. Um, he has his own street in Bed-Stuy, Christopher Wallace Way, right on the corner of Fulton and I believe it's Gates. Um, Christopher Wallace Way. Uh, there's nothing that could be said about Biggie that's not already been said. That was my homie. Shout out to him. Rest in peace, Miss Wallace, too. Shout out to Junior Mafia. I didn't really know Junior Mafia that well, except for Little C's. Little C's is super cool, always been super, super duper cool. I never met any of the rest of Junior Mafia. Um, but yeah, I think the saddest day in hip hop. Um, people Jones just for consecutive games with 20 points or more. Your thoughts? What an incredible accomplishment. Uh, SGA has to be the most consistent superstar in recent memory. You don't even have to look at the box score. You already know what it's going to say. He shoots the same amount of shots with the same percentage from the same spots on the floor, night after night. No matter what anyone tries, you can't stop him. He has a great team around him. That's an incredible feat. I mean, this record, you're talking 60 years probably, that no one's been able to do that. And we're talking about some incredible scorers that we've seen in this league, and no one has done that. And he's probably going to break the record the next time they play. SGA is tough, man. He is a tough out. And he, you know what else too? He has figured out the rules of this modern NBA. He's one of those guys who I think would be excellent back in the day, but would not be as good as he is now. I don't think he would average 30 points a game, 31 points a game. I think he has mastered today's era. He is the prototypical person who benefits from today's rules. SGA. But he's a great player. He would be great in any era, but I just don't know if he'd be averaging 30. But that's an incredible feat, man. Uh, I think I answered this last week. Okay, does KRS get anything from the action figure? I'm not sure how that licensing agreements go. I'm pretty sure you can't just make somebody's action figure without getting permission. So, people just as Jay Wu, I think someone asked last week and he didn't know. I really don't know the answer to that question, but I would assume so. Riding Dirty Face, what up? Um, y'all got me super behind already talking about Nas and Jay-Z, but uh, Super Catch the KB, how much influence do you think Milk D had on abstract style? I don't know if he was that abstract. I mean, he had a crazy voice. Milk is chilling. He had a style, but I wouldn't. I'm not an MC, but I didn't see that as an influence. Maybe if you can give some examples, I didn't really see that as an influence. I look at abstract more like Cool Keith and, of course, Q-Tip, the abstract. Uh, let's see. Cutie Pie. Hello, hello, hello. Um, yes, Cutie Pie is an ER member. Rod Justice, what up? Um, I'm super behind now, trying to catch. I'm gonna just scroll real quick, try to see any faces I didn't get. Of course, my girl Cynthia China Doll. What up, ER? You in the ER crew too, Cent? My girl Cynthia. I'm letting everybody know your name, Cent. I know you're China Doll on here, but Patrick Y, what up? Mike Rocks, what up? Silk Child, what up? Uh, let's see. I'm still okay. I'm sort of moving in the direction, getting close. Corey Flood says Mosquito. I'm not gonna give that away. I'm not gonna say anything about that. Sweet Goldilocks, what's up? Um, oh, Riding Dirty Face, thank you, jumping right in. Thank you so much for your contribution. When it comes to the Hip Hop Museum in the Bronx, do you trust that a museum can capture what hip hop really was, is? Any thoughts on it? Salute. Um, well, no one could really capture the exact element, but you can try. I mean, I've seen exhibits of different like artifacts. You know, there's exhibits of like dinosaurs and stuff, or like exhibits of ancient Egypt. I've been to an ancient Egypt exhibit. I've been to a couple of different exhibits, and you can see the clothes, you can see the pictures. They can give you kind of a feel. Hip hop is really an anomaly because if you didn't live it, some ways it's very hard to describe it if you didn't live it. Because even if I show you pictures of hip hop development, it's still hard to understand. Not hard, but it'll be a little more difficult to understand unless you come from that environment. I mean, you can get it, but I think you could do. I think they could get an 80%. I think you can get 80% going if you have a really good exhibit. Um, we'll see how these guys do. Hopefully, they do justice. Um, New to the channel, Felipe Aguilar. Did you make all the beats for KRS-One? Unfortunately, not at all. Uh, I have probably made between independent stuff and mainstream stuff, major labels. I've probably made about 40 or 50 KRS tracks that's come out, maybe 35, something like that. I'm probably the producer who has produced the most songs for KRS-One. I would believe so. Um, Probably in the 30s, but he has hundreds of songs. Um, on major labels, I probably produced 10, 12, something like that. I'd have to count them. I could count them right now, but I'm not gonna bore y'all with the details, but probably like 10 or 12. But no, I did not make all the beats for Chris. He's had some fantastic producers make some amazing music. Um, Explicit says nothing compares to off the top battles. I agree. Mike Rock says no, no, no. Wilt will be draining threes. He developed that long range, crazy looking hook shot when he was at the Globetrotters. Yeah, the hook shot is different. But I just don't think a guy of his size you would. I don't see him being Wemby. I mean, unless he started out that way. Wilt was 7'1", 300 and something pounds. It was an incredible athlete. But the way he plays, so you're saying if you take Wilt and put him now, I don't see him going out to the three-point line. He got like a fadeaway. Wilt used to shoot like a fadeaway 15, 17-footer. But there's probably no footage of Wilt Chamberlain shooting a jump shot from further than 15 feet. I mean, his free throw shooting was legendarily subpar. So I just don't see it. And the way his strength and size, he was as strong, as big as Shaq. Why? That's like saying if Shaq was playing right now, they'd have him out there shooting threes. I just don't think so. I think that they would have to adjust to him. Um, you see somebody like a Rudy Gobert at Minnesota. He's set what 7'2", 7'3". I see it being more like that. Rudy Gobert doesn't shoot a bunch of threes. He plays around the basket. That's just my opinion. We'll never know. I could see Jabbar shooting more threes than Wilt. But even that, I could see Jabbar shooting threes. I was watching a game where like 8 3-pointers went up in a row. It was just not good. Philly Cheese says LL versus Mo D was better on wax than LL Cannabis. Yeah, if you throw to the break of dawn in there, how you like me now? Kumo's response. I would argue that. I would argue that. Yes. That's the name of the song. Stillmatic. Duh. Thank you, Edward Waters. Stillmatic. Damn. I be having brain freezes on here. Like, I can't get that out. I never would have got that. And I love that album. Henry Cedillo, what up? I think LL got Mo D with Mama Said Knock You Out. See, I don't know if song was about Mo D. I mean, just because they had that beef, we would assume that anything he says is towards Mo D. I don't know that. But when he made Jack the Ripper, that was overkill to me. Jack the Ripper was before Mama Said Knock You Out. Shout out to the GOAT and the OG lyricist Kumo D. Shout out to Kumo D all day on this channel. Like I said, he's a good friend of BDP and mine. I love the guy. He's a great guy. Um, Yeah, Philly, she says Nas over the paid in full joint was actually called Stillmatic. That was the response to Summer Jam. But they have been throwing darts. I think Memph Bleak tried to throw a dart at Nas. There's a breakdown on YouTube where somebody breaks down how it all started and all the little jabs. Even the title of the album "I Am" was a response to Jay-Z said people in the streets are always arguing who is the best, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas. He said that on Cough Up a Lung, where I'm from, Marcy, son. He said, who's the best, Jay-Z, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas? And then Nas named his album I Am. Little stuff like that was going on. Um, Little stuff like that was going on leading up to it. That's why I think Jay-Z and Nas on Wax has to be the best. 50 going to Ja Rule was dope too. Cause you kind of know like the whole album is about Ja Rule, damn near the whole first album, but still, I'm gonna go Jay-Z Nas. Um I remember this, Greg Ness. Nas dissed Hot 97 for taking Jay-Z's side. He dissed Funk Master Flex. I've never seen Nas that mad. Me neither. I don't think I've ever seen any artist in any genre have a rant like that. For those that's not from New York, um, I think it was back then, it was Hot 97 was the monopoly. They were the big station, but down the dial on WBLS, with Wendy Williams Wendy was really had big ratings, and I don't know if Power 105 was out then because I know Nas had his rant. I don't know if it was on 105 or it was on Wendy Williams. I was listening to it live, and he said a lot of dope stuff. He really peeled back the layer a little bit on radio. He was mad too because they threw him off a Summer Jam because uh, the story how I hear it is Nas wanted to do a whole uh funeral like a hanging of Jay-Z on Summer Jam with like a noose and everything. And I think Damon Dash made the call or somebody made the call and said he couldn't do it. You could perform, but you can't hang Jay-Z on stage. And Nas got mad and didn't perform at all on the Summer Jam. Then he went on the other station and went crazy. He went crazy. He exposed a lot of stuff. Payola. That was a moment in time where if all the rappers had a got behind Nas, there could have been a change in radio. But nobody got behind Nas. The only person that was with Nas was Foxy Brown. She called up and was like, yeah, Nas. Everybody else was like, I don't got nothing to do with that. Because he also said, I think he dissed Nelly, he dissed Nori. He went crazy in that rant. I remember that. I can't remember if it was on Power 105 or if it was on Wendy Williams. I think it was on Power 105. Because I remember Wendy was the one that was playing Ether. Because Hot 97 wouldn't play Ether. I remember that whole thing like it was yesterday. I don't want to get too deep with it with y'all, but I was listening to both stations. Hot 97 wouldn't play Ether, but Wendy was blasting it. Oh man, she used to diss Flex, call him the bomb dropper. Wendy was out of control back in the day. That's when radio was wild. That's when New York radio was like must listen. Uh, Henry Sedilla says Boogie Down and Juice Crew is actually my first experience of battle rap on wax because it was the first. That's why it was your first experience. It was everyone's first experience, really. A back and forth. Uh, uh, Poetic says, what up, Kenny? I love the KRS-One saved the studio in a hip hop appreciation week freestyles, and I hope he does more projects and stuff like that in the future. Yeah, well, there's a big Temple of Hip Hop documentary coming the end of May. Chris sent me a little piece of it. It's coming the end of May. It'll be free on YouTube for you guys to check out. Um, Yeah, Gregory Nettis. Charles Smith is the reason why Kenny Parker is not 100% Knicks fan. Those days. I was still down after that, but that broke me. If you could pick one moment in sports, and I've had a few. If I could pick one moment in sports that broke me, like that touched my soul, it's when Charles Smith could not convert those layups to beat the Bulls. I think we was up. I think it was tied 2-2. And the winner of game 5 really would have took control of the series. I think it was 2-2. And we had him. We had Mike in them. And I think the first time he went up, he got stripped, but them second two, he had to power up. He had to get fouled right there, man. I'm still upset. That broke me, Gregory Nettis. I can't even lie. That broke me. Um, Black Pudding TV. Hi, Kenny. Is it true that KRS used to borrow a passport to come to Canada via Mo Better? I cannot comment on something like that. Rosmel says Biggie and Pac's beef actually had 2 diss tracks, Hit 'em Up and Biggie's unreleased Pac diss track. Yeah, but it was unreleased. I heard Busta Rhymes talking about it. And Little Kim had a nice diss on Big Mama thing going at Pac, but they took it off when Pac died. Little Kim went at it. Little Kim had something to say. Uh, the verse where Jay-Z is rhyming, that was not there. It was Little Kim's second verse, and she was dissing Pac. And she dissed Faith Evans too. They took that off. But Biggie had an unreleased track, so to me, that doesn't count. It didn't come out. Nobody heard it. Club Rewind. Woo, made it. What up, everybody? Anthony Jones, what up? You made it. Down in McCall County. You remember PJ Brown picked up Charlie Ward and flipped him into the camera people in the Eastern Conference Final, Game 5 against the Heat? Yeah, I do. And I think some people that cost us the series, right? Because I think, was it Patrick Ewing? A couple people came off the Knicks bench and got suspended, and we lost. No, was it Game 5 against the Heat? Because I'm thinking on one of these series, there was a fight and Knicks players came off the bench and they got suspended, and that's why we lost. I definitely remember that PJ Brown because Charlie Ward was trying to box him out and kept backing up, and PJ Brown just picked him up and boom, and it started a whole thing. You get in a fight with Charlie Ward, that's pretty tough, man. Oh man, I'm super far behind already, y'all. Um, let's see. Did KRS ever record a product project with said G? Not to my it said G. Outside of Criminal Minded? Not to my knowledge. Uh, Explicit said, Kenny, seems writing the book was easier than creating the audio book. I say that based on what you said Friday about recording issues. For me, it was um, writing the book was not hard for me because it's my story. I know the story. The hardest part about writing the book was editing it down from what I originally wrote, getting it down to, cutting off the fat and just having the meat. Um, the audio book was a whole different ball game. Because like I said, you have to your audio book and the ebook, but the regular print book has to line up exactly like word for word. And so you're taking the words and you're trying to give it some meaning and inflection. It was difficult. And then editing it down, that was hard. For me, maybe for other people, but for me that the audio book was way harder than the print book. Let me scroll down a little bit. Rich, I said, KP, ring the alarm. Now the sound is dying. Whoa, hey, shout out to Tennisaw. Rest in peace to Tennisaw. I heard a lot of rumors about his death. Like, I heard a gruesome rumor about his death. I don't know if it was true. Mike Rock says, I got the Knicks going 2-2 when they beat the Jazz tomorrow on this West Coast trip. That'd be a good trip based on how it started. Um, Samuel Gervais, what up? That would be a good trip. Uh, this is a hard question, especially outside of hip hop. If you wanted to see two or three artists collab and you were the producer, who would you get to work together? Well, half of me would say people from different genres and see how they would sound together. Like bring a super pop artist into like a R&B world, or like, something like that. And it wouldn't be anybody new. Like there's nobody out now that I really like. I want to see them perform. It would be older people, you know, Prince and somebody, Stevie and somebody like that. Um, Remember duet albums? Your R&B has fallen so hard, y'all. Remember when there used to be the guy and the girl sing, first the guy would go, or the guy or the girl would go, then the guy would answer the girl, and then the third verse they would sing together. Remember that blend? That is completely gone out of R&B. There are no guys and girls making records together. Gone. Um, but I would like to see that blend again, like, Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, that kind of, remember Atlantic Star and these kind of groups used to have the guy and the girl, Renee and Angela. I used to love that kind of stuff. I'm a slow jams dude, so um, I would love to see. I don't know who is out now, um, but I would like to see. That's what I would like to see, guys and girls do a duet. Even like remember Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, stuff like that. That's what I would do. Um, Let me move on. Murder for Hire says, "What up, KP? It's me, 13X. What up? Haven't seen your name in a while." Um, let's see. Philly, she said, Wilt shot free throws underhanded. That only worked for Rick Barry. Yeah, Rick Barry shot 95% or something, 90 something percent, but Wilt was just too big and strong, and the ball was too small. That's the same problem that Shaq had. My Rock says, DJ KP, Wilt would have dominated with his size in the 80s and 90s. He played according to the rules of the day. Wilt would have dominated. Yeah, I think he would have dominated in any era. I mean dominated. Um, First of all, his rebounding and shot blocking, he would not have been scoring 50 points a game and all that stuff. He would have been a big time scorer, but there'd have been other 7 footers and stuff. But his rebounding and shot blocking is unbelievable. Um, let's see. Yeah, Jack Swagger. That's the name of the song. Let's Go. It wasn't Death Blow. It was Let's Go, I believe, was the record. Um, that was the record that went against LL. Rob Justice said, I think the last word LL had in the battle with Kumo D was to the break of dawn. Me too. Like after to the break of dawn, there really wasn't much to say. They said Ice-T wanted to step to LL after that. When he said, Your girl wears it well. I took the cover right home to the bathroom. What he said, she's on the cover magazine. I took the cover right home to the bathroom. I heard Ice-T was not happy with that. Shout out to Darlene. She's the first. Video Vixen. Shout out to Darlene. She's super cool. Super cool. Um, let's see. Philly C says, "Is that your chick by Bleak and Jay was really the first shot at Nas?" Yeah, I think so. That's a super knowing what we know now, that's a crazy disrespectful record. Is that your chick? Yeah, I think that was the beginning. Yeah. But it could have been before that. It could have been before. I'm not sure, but it could have been before that. But I know that could have been the beginning. Donald McCall, Kumo D and Busy B were the first rap battle in Harlem World, December of '81. What was the first tape that was popular? I'm sure there was tons of battles, but that's the first one because them two had battled multiple times before that battle. And Kumo D, the style. Do you listen to the style he came with in '81? Ridiculous. Shout out to Busy B too. That's the homie too. He's cool. Um, yeah, that tape went all over the place. I would we consider that the first rap battle that really the first rap battle on Wax was Showdown, really. But they was on the same record battling each other on the same record. Furious Five meets Sugar Hill Gang. Um, they really battled each other on the record. Uh-uh. Yo, Kenny, Jack the Ripper was before To the Break of Dawn. Absolutely. Yes. Corey Flush says Nas went on Power and dissed Hot 97. Nelly. Okay, it was Power 90. It was Power. Yes. Okay, yeah, he went on there and had one of the most epic rants. If y'all can go back and find that Nas rant and separate the mad how mad he was, but listen to the jewels he was dropping. He really was saying some real revolutionary, let's burn it all down stuff. Nobody rode with him. Everybody was like, yo, you on your own, Nas. Sandwich Face, Nas wanted to bring a robotic Jay-Z on the stage and hang him on the Summer Jam. Yeah, you know what? Um, considering it's supposed to be a family-friendly atmosphere, I can see why Hot 97 is like, yo, you can't be hanging people on stage. Uh, but I also heard that Dame Dash had something to do with pulling the plug on that too. But I can see where Hot 97 is coming from with that. Boom Bap says Jay knows he can't F with Nas. That's a matter of opinion. See. Oh shoot, KP recently sold my used Nas Illmatic cassette tape for $60 on Facebook Marketplace. Wow, that's crazy. For a cassette. That's dope. Henry Still, can you break down the Rise and Shine video and the song if you can? How did everything come together? Dope what Chris did. Amazing style. Yes. That rhyme he used to do was a freestyle he used to do all the time in the shows. Um, that freestyle he used to do, of course, to a different beat, a slower beat, as a matter of fact, we used to do that to a reggae beat. I used to kill in the shows. And I remember when I heard the record, I was not there, but when I heard the record, I was like, okay, so he finally found a home for those rhymes. It was Kumo D's record, and of course, Kumo D is down with us. So he asked Chris, and their label mates, they were label mates at the time. So it's an easy connect. I was not there for the connect, but I could see how it went down. Kumo D is not only a friend, but a label mate. And back then, collabs were kind of rare. People didn't really jump on other people's records like that. That was actually a pretty rare collab right there. And then Chuck D jumped on. That was dope. That's all I know. I was not there for that, but I can see how it went down. Uh, Can't believe some thought Nelly had a chance with KRS-One. I mean, he had a chance. I mean, it does such apples and oranges. That's one of the stupidest beefs to me ever. It's so stupid. It started stupid and it just ended stupid. And they was cool after that. It was just stupid. That's one thing I never understood it. It was just stupid. Um, I never met Nelly, but I thought that was just a stupid. Didn't even make sense. They're like from two different worlds. I like this boom bap. Feel the vibe, feel the beat is one of my favorite KRS B sides. That is probably my favorite KRS-One song that I ever produced. Patrick White, yeah, if Charles Smith had went up strong and tried to dunk it, ref would have called a foul. No ref going to give a 6'10", 245 power forward a call for layups. Yeah, you're right. The first one of them he got stripped. And then one of them he went up kind of weak and they kind of blocked it. It should have been a jump ball. And then the other one, he kind of just went, he didn't go up strong, man. He had to go up strong in that double pump, jump back. Oh, man. Killing me right now. Rod Justice, did you see those college women fighting and knocking the ref down? I did see that. I'm always amazed how refs jump in the middle. That's your job, but to jump in the middle of fights. Like in NBA, two 6'10", 240-pound giants are ready to fight, and the ref has to get in there and hold them back. That's a tough job. Those little refs. And it's a dangerous job because, like you said, these women in college were fighting, and a ref got in the way, took a L. Whoever hit that ref is in big trouble, though. I think colleges, you get suspended for 2 games. You could get suspended for more. College don't play the fights, man. You're gonna fight in college, you're in big trouble, man. Uh, let's see. Markeith says Mikal Bridges is killing the Knicks with inconsistency. He's been playing well lately too. I just think he had a rough weekend. Bridges, if it wasn't for Bridges, the Knicks wouldn't have beat Boston last year. Bridges played really well in that series. He helped the Knicks get to almost. I believe if that Indiana ball didn't bounce the Halliburton shot, if that bounced off, I think the Knicks would have made the championship. Bridges played real good in that. I'm seeing Knicks fans on social media just killing Brunson and Bridges, and they're killing Hart. Like y'all, people be bugging, man. Knicks are the 3rd seed. This Knicks team has given this city more life than we've had in decades. Since Spreewell and them in 99, 2000, that team, Spreewell, Allen Houston, that team, Marcus Camby, we haven't had life in this city in 20 years and more than 20 years. And this Knicks team right now, we almost went to the championship last year and they're in the 3rd seed right now. They have a really good shot. And dudes have a bad game here and there, and people want to diss him. How could you diss Jalen Brunson? That dude was spectacular last year and the year before, but last year he was spectacular in the playoffs. Not in the regular season, not in a meaningless game. When everything, the chips are on the line, he was spectacular at home and on the road. And people trying to diss, I don't know. I'm gonna give Bridges a little bit more grace before I throw him under the bus. But he definitely struggled this weekend. He needs the KP Ninja Man pass. Oh, is that I didn't see that. Is that wow? Shout out to Ninja Man. Wow. I gotta look that up, get a little more information on that when I get off. Wow. LTKK, I got your book in my Amazon cart for when I get paid next week. Thank you so much. I really hope you enjoy the story. Um, Henry Cedillo, who remembers the Sprite soda TV commercials, Karis One and Sham? Dope to see them doing something together. It was, and Chris got so much flack for that commercial. They called him every sellout in the book for doing that commercial. KRS and I think Red Alert versus Shan and Marley Marl. And they really raked him under the coals for that. Back in those days, a rapper doing a commercial was a sellout, was taboo. Now look at where rap music has gone with marketing and branding. But back then, that was considered, how could KRS do a commercial for a soda? He got a ton of flack for that. Matter of fact, when I get Chris on here, I'm gonna ask him about that. Um, I saw something I wanted to comment on, but I lost it. So Marquise says, RIP Tennis 22, hit and run in Houston, Texas. Okay, cool, because that's not the story I heard. So cool. Not cool that he passed. Cool that that's not the story I heard. Yo, Beyond the Matrix, we had a slow jam conversation on this channel last year, and it was really crazy. Don't get started. Frederick Gentle was a ridiculous record. I believe he recorded that with his own money in like a cheap studio. That record was dope, but that's what I'm talking about. Um, a man and woman, that combination. It was really big in the 80s and 70s too, but those slow jams in the 80s. We're never going to see another Gentle. Let me not say never, it could come back, but that would really, I think it would sell a ton of records, especially if popular artists like a Chris Brown and Beyonce did an album together of ballads and duets. That would really be something that people would be listening for, or uh, somebody. Drake was trying to do a bunch of stuff with Rihanna, but he did more dance music. But Drake was there. Drake is an R&B dude, but first, Drake was there with him and Rihanna. He was there. Uh, that's a lost art. That's a check waiting to happen. Yes, Tracy, the SOS band was dope. KP, don't forget Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams. Too much, too little, too late. That record was huge. I remember when I was in sixth grade, maybe fifth grade, I was a kid. And I went to this party that some girl threw a party, and everybody in our class went to the party. And the two big records, if I recall, was Shame by Evelyn Champagne King and Denise Williams. Too much, too little, too late. And I remember I was so shy, and I was sitting there, and this girl, she was like the flyest girl in the whole class, and everybody wanted to dance with her. And I remember she just was walking around. She looked at me and she was like, "I want to dance with him." And they threw on that record, and I was so paralyzed I couldn't even move. I remember sitting on the couch, and I was like, "There's no way I can move." Like my legs would not operate. And after a while, she just got frustrated and was like, "Ah," and she walked off. And I was so happy she walked off too. I remember I had to be like 9 or 10 years old. But I remember it like it was yesterday, because I'm like, why she pick me? And she picked me probably because I looked at the lead, because all the other dudes was dying to dance with her. And I did not want to dance at all. I don't even know why I even went to that party, but I went. She probably looked at me and was like, he doesn't want it, so I'm gonna dance with him. And it was Denise Williams, Too Much, Too Little, Too Late. I was like, too much, too little, too late, because I am not. Oh man, Peaches and Herb Reunited was dope. Dope record. Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye was dope. All of these things. You know what, Corey Flood? There has been an R&B duet since After the Party. That was a dope record, by the way, Coffee Brown. That was like '01. Nah, that was earlier than that. That was like 2000, maybe '01, something like that. I mean, didn't Alicia Keys and Alicia Keys and Usher had one, right? My Boo was one, and Nelly and homegirl from Destiny Child had one too. They used the Patti LaBelle. Kelly Rowland had one. Um, it was still around in the early 2000s. It was still fading, but it was still around. Both of those records went to number one too, by the way. Um, but it just faded off completely. It's a shame. It's a real shame. David also Kenny was Q-Tip first introduced in the song "The Promo" by the Jungle Brothers. That's how I first heard him. But some people say "Black is Black" was before that. I heard I loved the promo, and I just found out that Q-Tip produced the promo. Love, love, love that song. And then remember they did a remix to that called "In Time." In Time, my brother. In Time, same beat with Q-Tip and the Jungle Brothers. So dope, man. First time I heard Q-Tip's voice, man, I just loved that dude. Tina and Rick James, great. And they in real life they were dating, so the chemistry was there. Stephanie Mills, Teddy Pendergrass, like just about all of the big women stars did records with big male stars. That was the thing. It was something that we wanted, and it sold really well. I don't think there is a woman out from the first half of the '80s that didn't do a duet. I mean, Anita Baker didn't really do any, to my knowledge. After that wave, after Anita Baker, Sade, did Whitney Houston do? I know she did a record with a. Did she do any records with a guy? I mean, she did a record with Bobby Brown, but I know she did a record "Thinking About You" on her first album. Did she do any ballads with guys? I don't think so. But I think that Mariah Carey kind of did some stuff with Boys to Men, but it started to die. It started to die. That Fox says, I don't think R&B is out these days. I think it's gone. I gotta listen to Jill Scott though. The last male-female duo was Coffee Brown. No, like I said, I'm thinking My Boo and all that stuff. Was that after? I think that was after Coffee Brown. Yeah. I really think that came after Coffee Brown, but not sure. Alexander O'Neal and Sherelle, that was dope. That was dope. Uh, Cutie Pie says Cardi B and Bruno Mars. I'm not gonna count a rapper and a singer. You're right. But like when a singer goes and a rapper comes in the break and breaks it, I'm considering that a feature. Like the rapper comes in, says a couple of things, and jets off. I'm not gonna count that as like two people singing in love, singing about love. Um, that's what I'm looking for. Two artists. First of all, there's not even any love songs anymore. Forget duets. There's not even a love song anymore. CMC, you already know. Salute KP on De La's Salute KP on De La's intro. Stakes is high. When I first heard "Coming to Mind," the De La interviews different people about listening to it. Has KRS expressed his thoughts about it? Oh, there's like there's like a skit, right? I've never heard Chris mention. I'm not even familiar. I think did I hear it? I heard it, but I don't remember how it goes. I got to go back and listen to it. I've never heard Chris talk about it. I know De La Soul is good friends with BDP. Um, so I don't think there'd be any malice there. Um, we love De La Soul. You know how I feel about Native Tongue. Anyway, I should have been in the crew. uh, David Alston says, Kenny, who decides what songs are good enough for an album and what happens to the songs that don't make it? Well, it varies, but usually the producer, whoever's producing the album, makes the call on what goes on the album. Sometimes it's the record company. Sometimes the record company might take songs off and on. The A&R person might make the call. They might, they have their meetings and they might pick, but usually it's the producer. And what happens to songs that don't make it? Well, it depends because if you're a producer, you get half your money up front and half your money after the song is accepted. Now, if they only pay half your money and they never pay your other half, you could take that beat somewhere else. So that the beat might get stripped down and used on another song. Or that song might appear on another project, might appear on later projects. For example, BDP, Black Cop was originally for Sex and Violence. Not Black Cop as you hear it now. The Black Cop you guys know is a remix. The original Black Cop was different. It was for Sex and Violence. It didn't go with that album, so it was laying on the side. Jive took it and put it on a CB4 soundtrack, and we remixed it. Um, there's a couple songs or soundtracks that was laying BDP. Just about every BDP soundtrack song was a song that was laying around, just about. So sometimes it happens like that too. They'll take a song and throw it somewhere else, or comes out years later. But the producer, for the most part, decides. Like a Quincy Jones, he's gonna sit and listen to Thriller and be like, "These are the songs that I think goes." Uh, Jack Swagger, KP, What It Is off the BDP album had crazy drums. Could have easily been a full track instead of an outro. Thank you so much for those that listened to the BDP album that I did with Chris in 2000 and it came out in 2012. No, it came out in 2011. It came out in 2012, but we did it in 2010, something like that. It was supposed to be a mixtape. But anyway, thank you. That was just I wanted to have an outro. So I had that beat on deck, and my girl In Yang jumped on it and sang on it, and I just was talking. I used to love like at the end of albums when dudes have an outro and they just be talking and giving shout outs and stuff. I love that. So I said, I'm gonna do it myself. Uh, let's see. David also, Kenny, did you see Tresh and Pep daughter boxing match? She got drugged. Yeah, man. 3 shots and it was over. They said she was outmatched. The other girl was like a Olympic, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and Tresh's daughter wasn't prepared. She was out of her league. I saw that. That left took her out. It must be tough seeing your daughter get knocked out like that. Uh, yeah, yes, I did see that. Um, Fire at Will says Bridges played out of his mind in that Boston series. He carried them. Yes, he was great. But you're only as good as your last performance. People don't remember all of the great things you do. They just remember when you disappointed them this time. And now everything you ever did was trash. See, I look at the whole thing, man. Not defending Bridges, and every time he has a bad game, people be like, look at all those picks we gave up for him. We could have had Giannis. Bridges is in a tough spot. Um, But in the past couple of weeks, he's had some good games a few weeks ago. Um, I don't know. The best players avoid the Knicks, disrespectful fan base. It's hard playing in the big lights, man. New York and LA, you have to really be built different. You have to really be built different to play in those cities. Everything is magnified. Every game is an overreaction. You win a couple games and we about to win the championship. You lose a couple games. This team is trash. We need to trade everybody and fire the coach. Imagine going through that for 82 games. I don't know. KP, you can thank Domingo for KRS dissing Nelly. Domingo gassed up KRS' head for fun while they were recording the MC because he knew KRS was at his best when it came to dissing a rapper. Yeah, there's more to the story than that. I haven't. I have a little piece in that too. Maybe I'll save it for an epic fail. There's a little bit more to the story there. I don't know what Domingo and KRS had a conversation because the MC, that was it. They recorded the MC in the I Got Next album came out in '97. The MC had came out as a 12-inch in '96. The battle with Nelly was in like 2001, 2000. So like he waited like 4 years. Now there's a little bit more that I know to that story. This is one of those stories to me that's so stupid. I don't even um entertain it. Oh no, I jumped all the way down. Wow, I just lost a bunch of comments. Why does this thing? Maybe it's this button I'm pressing. Maybe I'm hitting a button because every once in a while I'll just lose 50 comments. So if you left a comment in the past 20 minutes, please comment again because uh, I lost it. So this is Kenny. You talked about points last week. Other than getting famous, what is the perks of getting a deal if they take 90% of your album sales? What are the perks? Perk number one is you are living your dream. If you want to be a singer or whatever kind of recording artist, this is the dream to get your stuff out there and be heard. So first you're living your dream. You don't know when you first get in the music business, you don't know what's about to happen to you. So you think that, you're going to be singing and you're going to be just like Marvin Gaye, you're going to be just like Diana Ross, you're going to be living like them. And so you get in. Then you find out that it's a 90-10 split. That's 90, it's more like 95-5. 90-10 is a dope record contract. Um, but once you find that out, you can still, you understand, if you go platinum or double platinum, you could become a millionaire in record sales. Just know that you made 1 million and someone else made 9. Know that if you made 1 million, there was 10 million and someone else made 9. But if you come from the hood, like mostly everybody in the history of singing did, you're still richer than everybody. If you can get your mama out the hood, you could buy a house, you could buy mink fur coats, you could put your kids in college, you could do a lot of stuff with the money that you make. Just know that someone else made 9 times what you made. So if you can accept that I have $1 million, but somebody who wasn't even in the studio made 9, okay. And then show money used to be your money. That's where the artist used to make his most money, was go out on the road and get your money. Now, these days with the 360 deal, they're taking half of your show money too. So not only are they taking 90-10 splits, but then when you go out on the road, we want half of that too. So it's worse now than it was before, but the perks are you could become a star. You said other than getting famous, you're living your dream and you could become very rich if you're a big star. If you're a medium star, you can make good money. Like you can make, if you do shows, you have a moderate hit, you can make what a lawyer or a doctor makes. That's a good living. You can make what a lawyer or a doctor makes. Like I said before, I said on this channel, I know an artist who had a hot 12-inch single. He had 2 12-inch singles. One was a pretty good hit, and then one was huge. He hadn't even dropped the album. He had 2 12-inch singles. He was living in a mansion. a mansion in New Jersey, and I went to his house. He drove me in a in a Benz. He had a Benz or a BM. He had a BM. We drove in a BM out to Jersey, Inglewood, to a mini mansion. Dude had a 12-inch. So you could still live pretty good, but it's just that someone else is living 10 times better than you, and your money will run out too if you're not smart. Uh, so that's really, I can go even deep and start ranting. These kind of questions get me gassed, y'all. Ken DP, I don't understand this question. How do you feel about Prince? He was non-parallel. I don't understand what that means. Prince is my favorite singer of all time. That's how I feel about Prince. I think he was a musical genius, and I don't use the word genius that often. Prince is a musical genius. Um, Divine Existence, what up? Let's see. Deborah Cox and RL from the group Next, We Can't Be Friends was dope. When was that? How does KRS One not just a dime for criminal minds? I guess not make a dime. Bad contract. They signed a bad contract on an independent label. Had no idea what that album was about, selling over 1 million copies. Who knew? That was a bad deal that cost them millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars. Kid Cubano, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. You're new too. Thank you so much. Hi, Kenny. Was it even possible in the 90s to sample so much classic soul music and release it without getting sued? Nowadays, it's almost impossible. Well, back in if you had a budget, see, you had to clear. By the time after Biz got damn near thrown in jail, um, after that, you had to clear samples. So we're talking, say, 91, 92 on, you had to clear samples. 92 on, you had to clear samples. And it was very expensive. Like most of the records you could hear back in the day after 92, you had to clear those samples. Now, depending on the size of your budget, you could get them cleared. Look at Bad Boy. They spent a ton of money clearing samples. But look at all of those huge samples. They had multiple big samples in records. They had the budget to clear the samples. Most people do not. Um, you said nowadays it's almost impossible. Um, well, I don't know how it is now with these publishing houses and stuff. I don't know how it is now, but uh, most stuff you can clear. I mean, there were some people that weren't clearing any samples under any circumstances, but for the most part, you could clear a sample if you had the money to spend. Um, absolutely, absolutely. I know BDP spent a lot of money on sample clearances. Um, let's see. Poetic. I was just wondering if you had an update for the live for all the fans here. Update of what? Please be more clear. Paul's Boutique may have had the most samples of any album, really. Yes. PE albums had a lot of samples. Paul's Boutique was ridiculous, but you got to say this is right before the sample clearance stuff went crazy. So that album had a lot of samples. Yes, Imperial did. You know if Biz got sued from the Wiz record store for using their jingle, Nobody Beats the Biz? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Nobody Beats the Biz was a commercial in New York. If you weren't from New York, it was the Wiz electronics store. You see, Nobody Beats the Wiz was their slogan, and Biz took it and said Nobody Beats the Biz, and they stepped to him. This is in the 80s, and he had to pay. They were stepping to people in the 80s, but nowhere near like what happened in the 90s, because there was no sampling laws in the 80s. It was the Wild West. Wow, Big Sis says, this is the longest you've taken to acknowledge me. I'm kind of hurt. How hurt are you, said? And had I known that, I might have taken a little longer just so you could feel a little more pain. A bunch of my comments got cut off, said, so I didn't see it. I'm just seeing now. I'm not that far behind. I'm almost in real time. That's why Kenny said, buy a home if you get that money. Be smart about it. You got to live below your means. If you're in the music business, you got to assume that your advance is the only money you will ever see in the game. And you have to live like that. Whatever money you get up front, you have to assume that's all the money you ever receive. Any money you get after your advance, you have to consider it gravy. You got to live below your means. You can't be out here buying stupid, ridiculous chains and multiple cars. You'll be done so quick because it's not sustainable. Rod Justice says soapbox filibuster. Wow. Uh, hey, Lindell Handy. Oh, I said Hardy. Sorry. Lindell Handy says, good evening, KP. Salute to the chat. Riding with my lady, grabbing something to eat. Dope. That you're just checking in on the ride. What's up to your lady? Hey, how you doing? From the Kenny Parker Show. Lindell Handy is a regular. Thank you so much. Dean Izzy, KP, I heard somebody say MC Light graduated from Tilden. No, she did not. She graduated from Wingate. She talked about it in her first song. Kramer, I understand you. She said she graduated from Wingate. I'm very familiar with Wingate. Like you guys know, my family lived a lot of years in Flatbush. We used to play ball in Wingate Park every summer. Me, Chris, everybody on our block, we used to walk. We were in walking distance from Wingate High School when I was a kid, and we used to walk over there and play ball. Chris got our basketball stolen in Wingate. I remember we had got a basketball. My mother gave us money for Christmas, and I bought a ball. For those that got the book, that one time that we got the money, I bought a ball, and we went to Wingate Park, and I was playing with some dudes, and Chris was waiting to have next, and he had the ball, and he was shooting on the other end, and with some other guys. And then when the time when the game was over, Chris had next. He came over to play with us, so we played a whole game. And then after the game was over, everybody was leaving. We was like, "Oh, where's the ball?" And them dudes that was playing with our ball on the other end just left with our ball. It was new too. Yep, somebody stole our basketball in Wingate Park. Chris left it. Chris left the ball down there. I just thought about it. It's the first time I thought about that since I was a little kid when you brought up Wingate. I have a bunch of Wingate stories. Chris used to sleep in Wingate Park. Please get the book, y'all. My little sister was born in Kings County Hospital, which is right across the street from Wingate. I'm very familiar with Wingate, but I did not know Light graduated from there. That was a rough neighborhood. Wingate was not as bad as some of the other schools, but this question right here could be all night. According to UKP, what separates Prince from MJ? I think Prince is more of a musician who can, and Michael Jackson is more of a performer. Michael Jackson is a singer and an outstanding performer, probably the greatest ever performer as far as dancing and aura and stage presence. Prince is also an incredible performer but on the musician side. Um, and Michael Jackson wrote songs, but Prince is a prolific songwriter. Michael Jackson wrote a few hits, mostly for himself. Prince wrote all his records and hits for a dozen other people. He wrote ridiculous records. Um, when we say what separates them, I would say Michael Jackson's showmanship and his direction. Michael Jackson went in a pop direction. Michael Jackson's pure goal in the 80s was to make gigantic records. Prince, after Purple Rain, was like, I'm just making what I want to make. Seemed like he just went eclectic. A lot of those albums seemed like Prince wasn't even trying to make a big song. He was just trying to make a song he liked. And if you liked it, you liked it, you didn't. I felt like Michael Jackson purposely was shooting for selling millions of records. That to me would be the obvious distinction. But we could get deeper into that subject. I'm not gonna do it now, but um that would be my distinction off the top of my head. Two artists that we will never, ever, 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 ever see again. Ever, ever, ever in life. Donna McCall, Perfect Combination. Stacey Lattisaw and Johnny Gill was ridiculous. Dope record in '84. Perfect Combination. My favorite Stacey Lattisaw record. Let Me Be Your Angel was dope too. I feel like Attack of the Name too. But Perfect Combination was a dope record, man. I think they dated for a second too. With You on Born Again, Billy Preston, Sarita Wright, another classic slow jam. Yo, y'all kill. Don't start the slow jam conversation because we'll be here all night, man. Y'all know we've had this conversation in the past, and we really went down the slow jam rabbit hole. Um, that's a great record. Once again, ballads. I think somebody could sing that song right now. Come bring me your kind, that melody right now, today, and win. Right now, same exact song. Um, let's see, let me go down a little bit because I went up. Let me jump down. Oh, we got another chat. Ah, Kid Cubano, thank you again. Thank you so much. I just came back from the Wu-Tang Clan show here in Germany. It brought tears to my eyes to see all the legends on stage. Is KRS One still on touring? KRS One is coming to Germany. Matter of fact, starting April, the end of April, the My Philosophy tour is going out to Europe. Uh, check your dates. The My Philosophy tour is leaving. Well, it will be starting. I said leaving America. It will be starting in Europe on the 23rd in Spain. Barcelona is the first show. Barcelona, Spain, the 23rd of April. And I think all of the dates are up now. So to answer your question, he is definitely coming back to Europe. Pretty sure he'll be in Germany. Shout out to the Wu Tang Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. Um, I've seen them perform so many times. We did a show with Wu Tang in '94, New Year's '94. KRS One and Wu Tang Clan. They was new, not new. 36 Chambers was on fire. Um, yeah, because when it came out, '93. It came out like September. It came out September '93 or something like that. So by New Year's of '94. So that New Year's. So it had been out 3 months. We did a show with them on New Year's. I remember we were supposed to go on last. Wu Tang was supposed to go first, but the promoter or manager, they couldn't get all of the members together. They were all over the club. And then, the crowd was getting restless and you couldn't get the Wu Tang together. So they was like, KRS, you go first. I mean, we blew the walls off of that place. It was in New York City. I've seen them perform so many times. I have an Epic Fails Wu Tang on this channel. For those that didn't see it, please check it out. I've seen Ray and Ghost perform. I've seen Dirt Dog perform. I've seen Method Man perform, Jizza, individually. And I've seen them all together numerous times. But yeah, that must have been dope in Germany. Sweet Goldilocks is in the house. Of course she is. Tupac sounds like Tupac and KRS One sounds like KRS One. That is correct. Are y'all still with me? Something just happened and I disappeared. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me check the settings. Yeah. Wait a minute. Because now, as y'all can see, hold on a second. Can y'all still hear me? Something just happened and I disappeared. Jack Swagger says, "Welcome back. That was a Heather B interlude." Yeah, something just happened. I think I hit, I don't know what I did, but it just disappeared. Let me see how many I was trying to get back to the comments and something happened. Then it went widescreen. Let me make this bigger again. That was crazy just now. Let me jump in right here. Oh man. KP also, MG had an early fan base and many of his fans grew up with him. Absolutely. The Jackson 5 sold 80 million records. Prince came on the scene around 1977, 78. By that time, MJ was in the game about 10 years. Oh, MJ was a giant by the time. And Jackson 5 is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I believe. He was already legendary. I'm not saying Prince is bigger than Mike. I'm just saying that the differences. Absolutely. This was a great pairing. Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack made some great songs together. Patty Austin, James Ingram, great combos, man. Crusher Blackwell, Kenny, who do you think is the better lyricist slash singer? Harmony, Lauryn Hill, or Missy Elliott? I don't believe in the word better. To me, there's no such thing as better or worse. It's just your opinion and my opinion. In my opinion, Lauren is the GOAT. But Missy Elliott is right there as well. Lauren is up for Hall of Fame too. This was dope. Dennis Edwards and Sierra Garrett. Don't look any further. I watched something that said Shaka Khan was supposed to sing uh that song. Don't look any further. Dennis Edwards. I forgot who wrote the song, but Sierra. I can't say her name. Garrett. Sierra Garrett. She sung the demo for Shaka Khan, and they were waiting for Shaka Khan to sing the song, but they could not get Shaka Khan. They could not get Shaka Khan to get in the studio. And they wanted to put this song out. So finally, the record company said, "Well, who's the girl on this demo?" There was like Sierra Garrett. It was like, just leave her on there and put it out, like put her out on the song. And she thought she was going to go back and sing it for real. And it turned out, they was like, "No, we're keeping the demo." So that song, Don't Look Any Further, that's her demo for Shaka Khan. I was just watching that like a month ago. Dope record, by the way. Oh, KP, let's take it back to the brother and sister duet. Very special. Deborah and Stacy Lord, man. All my life is all I have, and my dreams are very special. All my love is all I. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Um, you know what? Does Method Man and Mary J. Blige count? Yeah, I'm gonna count that. You know why? Because first of all, they did a duet of the song type of songs we're talking about, and secondly, sense of a guy and girl back and forth, as well as any rap song I think ever. That song, and it sold 1 million copies, a platinum single. That song touched the nerve of America. That song, Mary. You know what I loved about that song? Everything about that song was so grimy. Method Man was so grimy in the atmosphere, but Mary looked so beautiful in the midst of all of this griminess. And when she was up on that roof, and they was like, "I gotta love Jones for your body and your skin tone," and they're both bouncing their head on the roof. Mary looked as comfortable on that roof as Method Man. Although she was an R&B singer and she looked beautiful up there, she was still so hip hop. You could tell that was not the first time Mary had sat somewhere, maybe on a roof, but that was not the first time that Mary had sat somewhere and was just bopping to the beat. She looked so natural up there. I love that song and video. I'm gonna count that in hip hop for sure. Shout out to the queen of hip hop soul. Um, I actually got to meet her once. I met her once, and I actually gave her a kiss on the cheek. She was so nice. Shout out to Mary J. Blige, man. Um, yeah, Engage VR, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what happened right there, but it took me out. And yeah, Explicit, you're further away than you were before. Yeah, I had to fix the camera angle. That was bugged out for a second. I was gone. Barry Allen says, "Did you use any other machines other than the SP1200?" No, I've never used any other machine but the SP. I want to. Big says you didn't pay your internet bill. See, this is why you can't have certain people on your channel. Shout out to Big Said. He has his own channel. He does some dope interviews. I really don't want to say that while he's on here. Maybe I should have waited till he got off. Uh, Shout out to Big Said. Check him out. He does a adequate job on his channel. Um, I've known Big Said. For those that don't know who Big Said is in the hip hop world, he's in some classic videos. He's in. Speaking of MC Light, he is in MC Light's first video, um, Paper Thin. He is her love interest, who she eventually left for D Nice. D Nice was MC Light's love interest. MC Light had two love interests in that video, Big Said and D Nice. So she was with Big Said. I guess he was acting up. So she had to cut him off and go with D Nice in the video. And Big Said, you were in a few other videos. I know you was in Moni in the Middle too. We need to hear your videography list. You a video vixen? Oh, that just made my day. Oh no. CFC. Thank you so much. What about Karen Wheeler and Pete Rock first album? I didn't hear that, but Karen Wheeler is a really good friend of mine. We did like 4 songs for an album that never came out in '96. I did some dope records with Karen Wheeler. She is a dope songwriter and an amazing singer. And we spent about 3 months, about 2 months in the studio working on some music. And then she was signed to Dallas Austin, and then something happened and the whole label went under and our music never came out. But she is mad funny too. Karen Wheeler is absolutely hysterical. If you ever anybody ever had a chance to be around the great Karen Wheeler of Soul to Soul fame, hilarious um individual. And I got her to sing Back to Life, Back to Reality too. I got her to sing that for me. Oh, good times back in 96. I did not hear the song with Pete Rock though. Let's see. Somebody yelled out Just Ice on here. Carlos, Just Ice did an interview on this channel. My first interview. So go back and check out that about 2 years ago. I did it with Just Ice. Really good. Cindy, oh, I inquired about your shirt on another show. Where can I purchase it? Yeah, this is the shirt. Is the same as this logo. Shout out to Stu's Design. I got to really mass produce those. A few people have been asking about this shirt. As at the moment, you cannot purchase it, Sin, but maybe I'll give you this one. Stu's Design designed this. I got to work on that. I got to get in touch with him. Let's see. Oh, we are. It's 9:31. For those that's new to the channel, we are officially in overtime. Um, Anything after 9:30 is considered overtime. So let me do the promo real quick. This is the Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to pick up the book. The link is in the description below. Big up to the ER, the early regulars, and big up to the Rewind crew that's going to check this out later. And um, hit the thumbs up when you get a chance. Um, so the FCC is trying to shut you down. I think I hit the wrong button. Roberta Flack's first two solo albums are incredible. Roberta Flack was incredible. She's one of the people that kind of flew under the radar compared to some of the bigger R&B artists, but she had an amazing career and an amazing voice. She did win Record of the Year in '71. So let me not say she flew under the radar because she won Record of the Year or Song of the Year, one or the other, for First Time I Ever Saw Your Face. I think that was '71. I always tell a story. I saw Roberta Flack in the supermarket on 59th Street in Manhattan. She was right, like literally right in front of me, and I was scared to say anything to her. Oh man. Can Lauryn Hill be considered a GOAT with a limited catalog? Not really, but her talent is so overwhelming that I'm gonna give her. He asked who do I think is better? Who I think is, I don't like the word better, who I prefer. I think Lauryn is talent-wise, from what I've seen, the best female singer rapper ever. And Missy is right there as well. But her catalog is not big enough for her to be a GOAT, in my opinion. And I love Lauryn Hill, not only as a singer, but she's a very nice woman. I've been around her multiple times, been in the studio with her. Very nice woman. Um, every time I see her, it's all love. And I just think, yeah, her catalog is just short to be considered a GOAT. But she's like potential. She's like one of the greatest. We always talk about what's the greatest what ifs. If Lauren had to continue down the path, she was not happy in this path, she says. But if she had continued down the miseducation path, who knows what she would have become? Who knows? She had infinite potential. Yeah. But you're right, her catalog is short. It's almost arguing for Biggie too. Like, can he really be a GOAT with his short catalog? St. Peter's made it to the Elite Eight in 2022. No, yes. Shout out to my alma mater. Harvey says, was the world famous Supreme team actually DJs in New York City before being known through Malcolm McLaren Records? Absolutely. All of those all of those little snippets that you hear on Buffalo Girls and some of their other songs are literally from the cassette of their radio show. This is the world famous Supreme Team show, and all that scratching is making me itch. All of that is actually from their cassettes from their show, and like I said, the craziest part is how they threw um that drug reference in the end of the record and nobody caught it. The whole line, if you ever had a chance to listen to the radio show, there's snippets out there. The girl calls in and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they asked her, how are you up this late listening to the world famous Supreme Team show? And she said, too much of that Snow White. And if you listen to the very end of Buffalo Girls, the last thing it says is too much of that Snow White, and it cuts off. But the first part of that is, why are you up so late? And she said, too much of that Snow White. And that got past everybody. You know what, Def Rocker? I knew this. Saida is how you pronounce it. It's an Arabic name. I knew that and could not get it out. Um, Lindell, this is a great one. KP, Teddy P and Whitney did Hold Me in Your. That's right. That was Whitney? Are you sure about that? Because Teddy had the accident in '83. I mean, he was still singing, but I forgot about that. That's dope. That's dope. I forgot about that. Uh, Big says that you can't count Method Mary. I'm counting Method Mary because Mary was singing a hook and she has like her own little piece at the end. She has a piece in the beginning like "Sweet Morning Dew." I took one look at you, and at the end she's singing "You're All." I'm counting that song. It's more to me. It's more than a feature. It's more than just Meth is rhyming and she's singing a hook. They're doing over a duet with just him instead of him singing. He's rapping. And you're right. Really, technically, you can't count it, but I want to count that song because I think it captured the whole essence. And Mind Your Business said on here too, by the way. Queen Latifah is the best singing rapper next to Eric Sermon, singing "So Amazing," and I've been waiting. Yo, Eric Sermon is one of the funniest people ever in the history of rap. When he said, "Hey, Eric Sermon," first time we heard that, we was dying laughing. I remember being in the van, and I had that tape, and I played it. We heard, "Hey, Eric Sermon," we was crying. Um, Shout out to the Queen. She's a dope singer as well, but she didn't sing. She did sing a little bit here and there on her albums, but still gonna go. I'm still gonna go L Boogie on that one. Uh, let's see. Oh, Seven Gervais says dancehall artist Ninja Man is alive. Ninja Man is serving a life sentence for murder. Wow. Didn't he say murder them? Murder them. Didn't he sing that? Maybe he wasn't. He wasn't lying. Patrick Watt. What's the 411? Mary and Pooh kind of captures the essence, and they sing very special at the end too. Pooh wrote that whole song too, from beginning to end. That's a duet to me. You know what? I'm counting that too. Mary is the dopest, man. I'm counting that too. Question Blackwell, I saw Jamal Ski interview on B Shine yesterday. Any interest in catching up with Jamal Ski on your show? First of all, shout out to B Shine. I did a dope interview with him like 15 years ago. Really good interview. I would love to have Jamal Ski on this show. That's my man, Jamal Ski. We came into BDP at the same time. Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald on my own. They weren't even in the studio together, not even in the same state when they recorded. Yeah, they that's one of them. Magics of Studio, that they sound like they were together and weren't. That song went to number one. It's very rare for a ballad to go to number one. That song went to number one. I think that's Patti LaBelle's only number one song. We scroll down to the very bottom since we're in overtime. I just jumped 30 comments. Jeff Rock says the Supreme Team show were 5%ers. Yeah, C Divine. I tried to get C Divine on the show. I tried to get C Divine on the show, but it didn't work out, man. Yeah, Patrick White, Just Allah, the superstar, C Divine, the mastermind, were incredible radio DJs. Used to listen to their shows at 105.9 WHBI. Mr. Magic also started on that channel before going to BLS. Yes, a lot of people started on there. Shout out to Awesome 2. Shout out to Jerry Bloodrock. Rest in peace. Yeah, Ashford and Simpson were dope. I loved Renee and Angela too. So Amazing gets the Anyway award. Yes. What's up with Anyway? Where's Anyway at? Um, let's see. There's also a What's the 411 remix with Big. I did a whole breakdown on that song on this channel. It was one of the first couple of videos that I did. So that means I did it 3 years ago. It's called, what is it called? The Big, I can't remember the title of it. If y'all go back on this channel to like maybe my second video, I talk about the What's the 411 remix and Biggie Smalls and a conversation I had with him about that song. It's pretty good. Not that many people saw it. Vicky D would destroy Lauryn Hill in a battle. I have no idea who Vicky D is, but maybe. Uh, Cynthia, I met EPMD in Atlantic City. They were passing out money to some of the homeless on the boardwalk. That was a long time ago. That's dope that they were doing that. Anybody that helps out the less fortunate always gets a shout out here. Erica Common also had her in her roots. Also, way back, I would consider that a feature. Love of My Life. That was a dope record too. Shout out to Badu. It's probably my favorite, my pound for pound favorite singer ever is probably Erica Badu. She's my pound for pound. Def Rocker says, Lord Jamal says you're not going to hear a dude pumping a song from a female rapper from a car. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Little Kim songs used to get played a lot when she was hot. I don't know. Let's see. We are in overtime, y'all. I'm gonna look at a couple more comments and I'm gonna step off. If you count Method Man, Method Mary, do you count Jody Watley and Rakim? No. To me, Rakim was just a feature on there. He came in, he did his rhyme, and he stepped off. It actually, like the whole mood of the record changed when Rakim came in with his crew and they rhymed and he stepped off. They weren't like together. They weren't like talking. They weren't like going back and forth and like interacting together. Uh, Benny Doyle, what up? Quick check in. There are two stories of Tennessaw's death, but I heard it was avenged like Gabriel's hammer. See, yeah, the story I heard was a gruesome one, but I don't know if it's true, you know. Uh, Bebo Jones, whatever happened to Vinia Mojica? Why didn't she have a solo career? That's one of the great questions. She was the first lady singer of native tongue. She sung on a bunch of records, had a great voice. I think she just got disenchanted with the music business. There was a lane for her. She could have been dope. She just says, I'm out of here. I would love to speak to her. She kind of like just disappeared too. Like you can't even find no information on her, no interviews, nothing. But I think she got disenchanted with the business. Crusher Blackwell, do you have a story on BDP Central Park summertime performance back in '91? And how did that show come about? I don't know how it came about, but BDP cracked off the summer stage. I believe we were the first. I know Diana Ross and those big groups, Diana Ross and Paul Simon and all them did Central Park. But in '91, they started the summer stage in Central Park. It holds 6,000. And I believe we were the first. I don't think there was a group before BDP. We came out there, I remember that. And we had the bridges over in an SP 1200. We weren't even doing it off of the record. We were doing it from the actual SP 1200. All of the sounds were in there. And I remember I was doing sound check and it was already 6,000 people. They were ready. And I remember I was just trying to hit the SP 1200 to make sure the sounds were up before we went on. I hit the snare, and if you know the Bridge is Over goes tat, 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 doom, doom, tat. And I hit the snare, I went tat, 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 and the whole crowd said, ah. And it was like 15 minutes before the show even started. And I just hit the snare to the Bridge is Over, and they lost it. Shout out to Heather B. She was on. Um, there's pictures from that show. I got some of them. That was a dope show. I brought the SP 1200 to Central Park. What? What? We took the Central. That's why BDP and me. I'm gonna toot my own horn for a second. We're in the SP 1200, the official SP 1200 book. I am in the book. And they interviewed me, and they was talking about BDP was the first persons to bring the SP 1200 outside. Now, somebody came in my comment section was like, "That's not true, because my boy from the projects brought it out into the park." I'm like, maybe your boy from the projects brought it outside, but we took the SP 1200 to Arsenio Hall. We took it to Yankee Stadium, Oakland Stadium, Central Park. We was outside with that machine, and I do remember that. I don't know how that show came about, but we cracked off Central Park. If somebody could think of a group that came in Central Park, rap group, before '91, because before that, I don't think it was Summer Stage. Um, yes, I just tooted my own horn. I'm about to jump off. Uh, Erica Badu is really another really funny person. Shout out to Sarah Bellum. Um, whatever happened to Nikki D? She's on Facebook. She's my Facebook friend. She be on Facebook all the time. That's the homie. Um, Let me scroll down to the bottom. Going to the very bottom. I'm at the bottom. KP Bam Adebayo got 71 points tonight. What? That's impossible. 71 for Bam Adebayo? No way. Now 71. Dartmouth, who was your first crush from TV? You got to go back to when I was first watching. I had to be like 5 years old, 6 years old. Probably either Jeannie, I Dream of Jeannie, Barbara Eden, or Batgirl. either either Jeannie or Batgirl. Robot Scott said, "Can I?" Oh, no, that's not the one. 72 now. Are you kidding me? What in the world? All right, I'm about to jump off, y'all, because I just want to see. Bam Adebayo has 70 points. He's not. Does he even average 20 points a game? Wow. Who did he give it to? All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace, Cynthia. All right, y'all. I'm gonna check off because I really want to check this out. I can't believe that. Tuesday, y'all. God willing. Um, I will see you guys on Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Friday, 8 o'clock. All right, I'm bugging. I'm out. Let me check out Bam Adebayo, 72 points. Later.